everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with some updated footage for you in the 292 BHDS Freedom Express. Seems like just about every year I get my hands on one of these because this is a popular model. I think what makes this one so popular is that it comes in under 7,000 pounds with a full separate bunk room in the back, but also this has something that has become very hard to find. I think that this has perhaps one of the very best camp kitchens left in the world of travel trailers. Camp kitchens really happened in 2012, and they were really fun and exciting and new and different, and some people like them and some people don't. But it's like they've been nickel and dime to death over the years to the point that a lot of camp kitchens just absolutely are crap, you know? This one is still really good. It gives us the bigger fridge outside. It has an actual real sink with a real drain into a holding tank, not a dog dish that you just flip out on the ground. Has a separate griddle automatically included with it, even an indoor-outdoor picnic table automatically included with it. So this is an RV that if you're going to be spending some time inside the RV for a while, it's got plenty of space and separation that everybody can tolerate it. But if you're going to be outside for a while, it has all the facilities you need to enjoy being out there and not have to track in and out of the RV all day. Although, with it being carpetless and ventless in the flooring, it's very easy to clean. Actually, Freedom Express was one of the brands that really kind of broke open the carpetless revolution a couple years ago. They've changed some of the construction on this versus years past. They no longer have a laminated floor structure on this. It's now a 5/8 ton groove plywood decked flooring. The idea there is that they're still maintaining a really good focus on lightweight, but they want to make sure that they're not developing any problems. You know, years 5, 6, 7, 8, they found some Freedom Express owners having some soft flooring issues. They said that sucks. We don't want anybody to deal with that, even when it's way out of warranty. And I think that's a really good indication that this is a pretty solid brand. The floor plan has some good aspects. It's got some things I think you're not going to like. I think a lot of people are really not going to like the entertainment center. But we're going to show you the good with the bad. Try to give you a fair look at this thing. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. And let's go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off right away. We're at the back of the RV staring forward. This is absolutely a 90-degree neck wrecker entertainment center from the sofa position. There are certain points in the RV, like over here on the forward-facing dinette booth, where it's not too bad. But this is a crocodile floor plan. This is a floor plan that's been around in the fossil records of RVs. And TV focus did not used to be a major important factor for a lot of people. Now, they make plenty of other floor plans that focus a little bit more on the entertainment viewing than this model right here. But in this length, to get you a private bunkhouse and a super slide, generally speaking, this is what you're going to run into here quite often. And I know that that's a problem for some folks. So I hope you appreciate that I went out of my way to first talk about something that might be a deal breaker for somebody before diving into some more of the deeper details here. Because there's a lot of great qualities on this one. Like the fact that, we're carpetless and ventless. You might see through the video that we do need to clean the floor in here. The RV is parked right next to a spot that likes to hold water on our lot, and it rained a couple weeks ago, and it's like clay where the thing is parked, so it just ends up, staying damp for a while and sticking to your shoes, so apologies there. Now, you might notice all through the Super Slide, all the windows open for airflow, and although the campsite of the RV doesn't have incredible, amazing window coverage, it's not terrible. Not from where you're primarily at in the living space. You can still keep enough of an eye on the kids outside. Although the entry door is prepped for a shade, doesn't actually include one. But that's a very easy thing. It literally requires no tools. There's just 4 little clips in that thing where you just sort of clip a shade up in that sucker. Now, up top there, you're going to find a 15,000 BTU air conditioner factory standard on these, which is awesome. The one that we're looking at today was built with the optional 50 amp upgrade because normally these would be 30 amp service. You'll see that the one that we're looking at today is also built with the optional second 15,000 BTU air conditioner. So this RV has a total 30,000 BTU cooling capacity as we see it equipped today. Factory standard, they're one of the few brands that actually still standardizes a gas-electric two-way refrigerator, which is not what we're looking at, by the way. Normally, this would be an 8 cubic foot two-way fridge. Today, we're looking at a 10 cubic foot 12-volt DC compressor fridge that is the optional item on this. Freedom Express has actually been offering that way before I really learned about them, and I became a big fan and became comfortable with them. because my experience before the current generation of 12-volt compressor fridges, if an RV's fridge was all electric, it tended to be residential, like inverted, and I did not have good experiences with them. Now, by default, right there, you'd normally be looking at a jackknife sleeper sofa with storage, a bifold sofa. Today, we're looking at a trifold sleeper sofa upgrade. So if you look at that sofa, and then the big dinette, and then the fact that you've got triple private bunks and a true queen 60 by 80 bedroom up front, this RV can sleep 5 individual people totally separately before you even think about trying to double up little kids or something on the hide-a-bed or the dinette. So this is a model that can absolutely sleep a ton of people. This is also one of the best angle. I'm going to hard shift, sorry. We're moving away from sleeping capacity and furniture. Look at the kitchen. At a glance, doesn't look like much, but look at how deep it is behind the stove and sink. This is an interesting thing that Freedom Express does on a lot of models. They deepen the kitchen countertop to give you extra counter space behind some of your functional items like your sink and your stove. We'll come back and get all of that goodness open in a few minutes here, including one of my favorite things in a Freedom Express kitchen, the utensil drawer. And you have to say it like that. I don't know why. It's just, it's like a government requirement. Again, breeze windows all the way around. They also free float their dining table, so if you want to slide that over in front of the dinette, you can. You could take it outside. In a sense, the RV has 2 built-in picnic tables that, well, not built-in, included. Built-in's the wrong phrase. But did you notice how you also don't have to rip apart the back of the dinette to get to the storage? There's just smart little detail creature comfort features like that on Freedom Expresses that personally I really like and I really respect. Now, where do we, you know what, I'm going to skip the bathroom. Hopefully I don't forget. We're going to come back here in just a minute. First of all, I want to look here in the bunk room. One of the things you'll notice is that there's a lot of window coverage in here, and all the windows open for airflow. But something I think is really smart, and you're going to see that they have recently adopted this on the front windshield, kind of like a toy hauler. These are blackout snap-on window covers, and obviously those are breeze-through windows, but the fact is, if you want to really block the sun out, you can. And you can, like, they're not the type of thing that sticks out. So if the kids thrash around, which kids are apt to do, they're not going to destroy everything. Some USB plugs over here. Each of these bunks, by the way, a 300-pound weight rating, which is about the most I tend to see on single bunk situations. And you may have noticed how above the rear storage location, could be kind of like a private rear entertainment center. There are some TV hookups, there's some power outlets up there, which could also kind of double as a charging station. Now, this bed over here is a little bit bigger than the 2 on the right-hand side. It's over the camp kitchen, and they extended it about another 6 inches to include some of this extra storage space down here. And you might notice there's sort of like a little timeout seat in the back area there. And again, we have some bonus storage off this back, I don't know, full included dresser right here. That's kind of one of those nice little details. So many manufacturers forget how much space kids need and kids occupy. Freedom Express does a decent job of giving you plenty of storage space right there. Now, backing up just a little bit here, taking a crack into the bathroom. Where do I want to start? We're going to start up top. How about the fact that Freedom Express is one of the things that I really like about them is that they're 6'9" tall from floor to ceiling. So if you're a little bit over 6 foot like me, you can actually stand in that shower without your head needing to necessarily be in a skylight. Now, over here on the left-hand side, they do have a couple little towel hangers, kind of like a little shelf if you want to be able to put some extra toilet paper rolls or something like that. They are, generally speaking, rocking the dollar store 4-inch fart fan. But if you watch a lot of my videos, you know, one of the things that I really, really think is a smart upgrade are Hengs Vortex fans, H-E-N-G-S. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, I think the cheapest, best way to get you a high-velocity fan. They're fantastic. That is a porcelain foot flush stool, by the way. And it's not a ton of space, but it's not terrible. Now, speaking of space, I don't recommend, or not recommend, I don't remember this being here in years past. Opening up that little cubby right there, that is a deep chunk of storage under that refrigerator. I don't recall that being there previously, but I'm not mad that it's there. I think it's kind of cool that they've really done everything they could to maximize storage where possible. And like we mentioned, the seating can fold down into sleepers. You do have a couple different sofa swaptions. There's the standard jackknife sofa. There's the, you could, if you really wanted to, you could option a theater seat into this. All of our cabinetry in this, by the way, is pocket screwed lumber core. So it is actual screws into wood. That's always a nice thing that I like to find. And if I'm gonna knock the kitchen for something, it's that still they have not given us a decent space for a wastebasket. So like under the sink, you'll see that there's the big utensil drawer and then a standard drawer next to it. The cabinet under that standard drawer, I really wish didn't have a shelf in it so that that could be a dedicated wastebasket space. I think that that would work very nicely in here. Now, something that's not overtly obvious on camera is the fact that your kitchen power outlets, you have two sets of them, but they are above the sink. They're under that overhead cabinet over there. Because with this having 1.5-inch laminated walls, they just don't quite have the space to build a power outlet into the wall. I do like that little flip-flop shop shoe garage right below the entertainment center right there. Now, regarding the TV, we already kind of talked about it, but I have seen some people add a swing arm mount behind that TV so that on a rainy day you can make the TV pivot. Because if you just try to turn the TV, the enclosure is going to block off part of it. It's not going to work very well. Now, a very nice update they applied pretty much across the board on all the 24 Freedom Expresses is what they're doing with their bedroom storage. It was already good, and they cranked it up to 11. You still have household and USB outlets on both sides of the bed. But if you notice, they redesigned the front profile of all their Freedom Express models, which is actually a pretty significant engineering undertaking. And they added a 2-shelf headboard power pocket up here that has another set of household outlets hidden behind there in the bottom section. So if you do want to add like a little fan or anything like that, you got the perfect place to do that. Now, one of the criticisms that some folks have with front windshields is you feel like an ant under a magnifying glass. Remember those blackout shades that we saw in the bunk room? They have the exact same thing here, but notice how a button snaps against the wall so that it doesn't dangle down and tickle you on the forehead trying to wake you up and being super annoying, you know? Another thing here, remember, standard, this is 30 amp. You can build it with 50 amp service and second air prep, or you could actually go ahead and install a second air conditioner like we've done right here. Now, this is not centrally ducted. This is a direct dump AC. It will have you breathing icicles in your bedroom. So if you're really worried about that front window cooking you in the hot Texas sun, first of all, I get it. I respect it. Secondly, you know, you can prevent that from happening. Now, you may notice how the bed comes right up close to these sliding pocket privacy doors right here. The good news, though, is this is a 60 by 80 true queen bed. So, you know, you can replace this with, you know, pretty much any kind of mattress that you choose, and it's going to fit here nicely as long as it's a queen. They don't currently offer any sort of king options or anything like that. But along with the headboard power pockets, take a look at this. They've added the double drawer storage galorage going on right there, which personally I think is pretty cool in the way that they've really maximized storage. Not to mention, you have the extra drawer space going on basically below the bed. They have an easy lift vaulted bed storage system, but it the drawers open outwards. So like you see some other RVs out there with a similar underbed storage system, but you absolutely have to lift the bed to get to it. You don't have to do that here, which I think is cool. And in the evening hours when you tuck the kids away, maybe give them some phone time. I don't know your life. Everyone camps a little bit differently. You can come up here in your own private little space, have your own entertainment center going, and I love how they included the stereo head in with that spinning entertainment center. That's something that they didn't used to do, and I think nicely enhances the function of this bedroom area here. One of the hiccups with this floor plan, though, is that when you try to get into this size with a super slide and you close things up, something's got to give. And it is crazy how quickly that super slide occupies the space. Now, by going with the deeper countertop, but not a peninsula, they make it so that you can pretty easily navigate your way over here a little bit. You can crack the fridge. You can get in there. However, if you want to be able to get to the bathroom in transit, what you really have to do is leave the door open before you close the slide, because otherwise you're never going to get it to swing open. Now, I also want to mention the fact that you see the way that I've got that table displayed. If you're going to be going down the road, do not leave the table like that. You want to make sure that you actually fold the table down and put it down in the sleeper position. Otherwise, you know, that thing could just jiggle bang and fly all over the place and smash into something. Now, here's another little pro tip. When you're opening or closing a slide, crack the door or crack a window. Because what happens is this phenomenon called the bellows effect. Bellows, you know, kind of like a blacksmith, you know, blows some air into a fire. If you're changing the cubic foot of interior space by opening or closing the slide, you need to allow air to equalize. And it takes a little bit of stress off your slide motor by doing that. Here's another thing. This is a rack and pinion slide out. So let's say you do want to budge the slide about a good 6 inches or something so that you can get back to the bunk room just to pack it up before a trip. This is a system where you can do that without breaking stuff. Hopefully those are helpful tips. If they are, hit that subscribe button. Let's hop outside. Now, for some folks, there's kind of a debate on whether this one is or is not half-ton towable, and I can see some arguments either way. You're going to get a variety of answers out there. First of all, because there's such a variety of half-ton pickups. Secondly, when you look at this, it's 33.5 feet long. It has a GVW of 9,500 pounds. That's a lot for a lot of half-tons. Now, if you've got a late model, very capable half-ton, and you're flat landing around, you know, southern Michigan, northern Michiana, where I live, you're probably going to be okay. You want to go across some windy plains, you want to go visit Aunt Dolly down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, through the Smoky Mountains, I don't think you're going to have a good experience towing this with a half-ton. That's my personal estimation. So I would actually like to open this up to the class in the comment section. What do you think? What are your experiences towing this or a trailer this size? And what vehicle do you have? And where do you tow it? Any information that we can share, I would love to hear. The wide stance stability axles that we're going to see, they certainly do help the equation a little bit as well. 20-pound propane tanks up front with an auto changeover regulator means it's easy to exchange your tanks like at a gas station on a Sunday if you need to. And a lot of your Coachmen laminated trailers do this. They tongue mount the spare tire to keep the rear of the RV open. I've heard from some folks that can conflict with some weight distribution systems, so you may need to relocate the spare tire depending on what you're doing. But something I noticed is even on the spare tire, they have it basically hooked up to the tire pressure monitoring system. So you can even monitor the pressure of your spare, which a lot of people don't think about that. They'll check the tires on the ground, and then if you have a flat, you go to put the spare on and find out, uh-oh, the spare is not any good either. You know, that's a problem. Now that yellow antenna looking thing, that is actually your repeater for the TPMS system right there. Now, Coachmen actually is, as far as I know, the original user of Azdel composite paneling in the, you know, the general, like, mainstream RV world. So they're one of the reasons, like, they were using it before people even knew what it was. I never even used to talk about it because nobody knew anything about it, you know. Down below here, I do want to mention that this is enclosed. It is forced air heated factory standard. You can add, I think they call it, like, their extreme weather package. And it's basically just a radiant foil layering that goes through the underbelly here. And that doesn't make it super duper extreme, brother. But it can help with some efficiency. I think it also goes through the roof, if I'm not mistaken. And this, I think, is actually kind of interesting. If you look right here, and if you feel under it, you can actually feel where there's this plastic flange that goes several inches under the slide flooring. And that is what a lot of times aftermarket is referred to as a slide repair kit. And the goal of that is to make sure that water can't wick its way sideways into the slide out flooring. And they're doing that right from the factory. So again, that's something that it's not going to fail while it's under warranty. There's things on this RV, like the way they bulked up the flooring, where they wanted it to stay working well even once the warranty expires. I think that's very cool. Little details kind of on that note too, like the fact that they have the fully enclosed protected kind of baggage door hinge here. Now, it is still a twist lock kind of situation on your baggage doors. I do like how it has that self-latching magnet holdback right there though, so you don't have to worry about that thing accidentally falling down and cracking you on the head. Now, what's funny is, what we're looking at right here is what most manufacturers would consider the bigger baggage door. But if you notice, over on the other side, they have an even bigger baggage door up there. Additionally, you've got a full pass-through light up here. I don't have it ignited, but you can actually see it's almost like a light under the awning along the nose of that. So if I jump over to the other side here, one of the other kind of cool things about this is that it also includes its own indoor-outdoor picnic table, which is a thing that's become more common and more popular. Still not very, very common out there. But I kind of give Freedom Express credit for being one of the brands that really kind of made that a known cool thing. Like Jayfeathers do a lot of that now, where they actually include a picnic table in a lot of models, especially Murphy models or like their private rear bunk room models. It's also kind of easy to miss. They have changed up the shape of the nose a little bit. It's not quite as shaved and swept back as it used to be, but that's the reason that they have that, what I feel personally is drastically superior bedroom storage on this one. Very respectable awning space on here too. It does not encompass the camp kitchen, but it comes right up to it. And you can clearly, like I'm over 6 foot, I can very easily walk under that big camp kitchen door there. So you do have a lot of overhead coverage where you can kind of maneuver around even on a rainy day. Before we get over there though, I do want to again mention the wide stance stability axle system. Some RVs do this. I'm shocked it's not more common, because it is a low budget way of really improving the towing experience of an RV, because it kind of cheats the wheelbase is the best way I think I've ever found to say it. It makes the RV feel like it's a little bit shorter than it actually is behind you. It's not a replacement for a proper anti-sway. Oops, apparently I bumped the power button with my phone there. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's not a replacement for a proper hitch. It's just a nice supplement too. The griddle does come factory standard with this. And like I was saying, I think that they're one of the last brands to consistently give us really good outside camp kitchens. We have another of the utensil drawers out here, again, with the removable insert. So you can kind of have your picnic utensils and then your, you know, main living area utensils totally separated if you want. Kind of like the Offspring. Sometimes you got to keep them separated in case you want to come out and play. So, like I was saying, you can very easily walk right under that door. It is gas strutted for, you know, easy lift and lowering. It's got a whole bunch of lock points on it too, so that it stays sealed nicely. And they have also gone to all galvanized rolled steel countertops in here. What's awesome though, they're one of the few that I see that still gives us an actual sink with a real drain into a holding tank. Very few manufacturers do anything like that in camp kitchens anymore. And what's funny is I think the refrigerator and the sink are probably the two most useful things in a camp kitchen. And so many manufacturers have just gotten rid of the sink because it's hard. We don't like it. It's hard to do. Well, suck it up, Buttercup. Sometimes the best thing is not the easy thing. Now down below here, they don't actually include a 2-inch receiver hitch, but if you notice these flanges sticking down, they include the, I don't think this is a word, bracketry, in case you want to add a receiver hitch on the back, and you can do so without screwing up your factory warranty. I think that's worthwhile. They do have a full walk-on, like snow load roof. You see that 250-pound rated ladder off the back right there with the weight that I'm carrying. I'm certainly glad they bulked that up from 200 to 250 pounds. Because I was really starting to push it like salt and pepper. Now, down below here. By the way, I found out Peppa and Peppa Pig, not the same person. Single sewer outlet right back here. It is still a gas and electric water heater. So that, I've been told by a lot of folks, that is a handy feature for boondocking. If you look at the overall holding tank capacities on this, though, it's not like a super amazing boondocker kind of RV. That's really not the purpose of it. Like, it has no solar standard. You can factory option on a little bit of solar if you're so inclined, though. And then below the bunks and like a little storage and shoe garage, you do have some extra storage back here. So it's not a full pass-through. What's funny is, before it was called the 292 and had a camp kitchen, it was called the 291 and it was a quad bunk with no camp kitchen, and it actually did have a full second pass-through. It's funny how things evolve over time. So an interesting little history lesson. There used to be the 292 BHDS Ultra, like we're looking. Then there was the 292 BHDS Liberty Edition. They had like a fireplace and some extra updates and upgrades. But it sounds like Liberty Edition is just going to quietly kind of be retired. So this is moving back into the Ultra family, where I actually always thought it belonged. I thought it did the best here, but that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, take a look at the video description. If you want to see a couple other RVs that have private bunk rooms like this, or if you just want to get pricing and availability on one of these, you can check it out right from there. And when you're ready, we're ready. So until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.